The album's pink. I'm leaving no questions need to be answered. Head to toe in pink.
Megan, we're so happy you're here with us today.
Thanks.
You've had a couple months to get used to being asked questions about all your nominations, tied for leading 6. So you've had a while to think about that. But now that the week is here, what do those 6 nominations mean to you? That you've kind of baked in that for a while.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm so excited for this year's awards. It feels different this time because I got my first Album of the Year nomination, and I think I'm most excited about that and the Song of the Year because I think those nominations also highlight, my collaborators that I work with. So my producer gets, recognized, and my co-writers. I know that I wouldn't be here without them. So it feels like a big celebration for the whole team. So I'm really excited.
And you've already kind of come out of your Best New Artist cycle, and you've sort of instantly graduated from ingenue, as it were, to leading lady. You're not quite, grizzled veteran, but this is a sign of continuity that you're not just a new kid on the block. You're here to stay, I think. Are you receiving it that way?
Yeah, I'm glad that that's the vibes. I definitely feel like my feet are now planted, and so. Even creating this next album, it was really fun to make music and be creative, knowing exactly who I am. So now I'm getting to experiment a little bit. So I definitely think that over the past few years, I've grown so much as an artist and as a person too. So just being in different, headspaces makes different kinds of music. So I'm excited for everyone to hear it.
Yeah. Tell us about changing colors, as it were. You're done with your blue phase.
Yeah, surprise. The album's pink. I'm leaving no questions need to be answered. Head to toe in pink. Yeah, I kind of started that with Lucky, and I noticed it. I think it was not on purpose at first, but the Lucky tour, I realized everyone was showing up in head to toe green, and so for the next album, Am I Okay, I really leaned into it, and of course leaned into it again with Cloud 9. And I chose pink because I think there is a softness about this music that isn't in my other albums, and I think it's come from the confidence that I have now. I think that I'm, it's about falling in love and falling out of love, but when you're truly confident, it's not the end of the world when it doesn't work out, you know what I mean? I think that in my other albums, maybe I perceived it as the end of the world, and now it's just this new music is just more carefree and confident, and so I thought pink was a perfect color to feel empowering and confident, but also soft, and that's kind of what the new music is like, so.
Yeah, I'm really curious to hear where you're going with that, because your first 2 albums, I think, there was this incredible mixture of kind of chutzpah and then vulnerability, and there was a lot of dynamic range in that. But, there was kind of a woundedness to it, and defensiveness and fighting back sort of spirit. And, when I reviewed the Am I Okay album, I was, noting that the title song was this really deceptively cheerful, happy song, and then the rest of it kind of fell back into this mode that everyone loves from you of heartbreak and dealing with bad choices in men and all this kind of stuff. So it's interesting to hear that as much range as you've already covered in relationships over those 2 albums, that there's still room to find literally and figuratively different colors.
Right. Yeah, it's there's definitely still some heartbreakers on the album because I'll never abandon the emo cowgirl thing. It's just like writing sad songs is so easy for me for whatever reason. But I will say that even in the sad songs, it didn't work out because I allowed them to treat me poorly. It didn't work out because I cut things off. And it's still sad when you have to end things. And it's still devastating. But for whatever reason, and even the saddest songs, there's so much hope and confidence that it's going to be okay, which is definitely a new theme that I explored in this album. And I think, like I said, it just comes from maybe getting a little bit older and knowing who I am and just natural confidence that keeps growing. So.
And it's funny to hear you talk about all this evolution, which is really there, I think, and yet it's been such a short period of time to evolve in that you've started.
Yeah, truly. And I swear, songwriting has it makes me into who I am, and it's really cool to have these snapshots of my emotions in time. I even think of Girl in the Mirror, the girl that wrote Girl in the Mirror couldn't have written Beautiful Things. And so I think it's really cool to see that evolution just so organically, and I didn't even realize it till the other day. I'm like, oh wow, that version of me could have never written Beautiful Things, because in Beautiful Things, not only do I know I'm worth it, I feel qualified to tell other people that they're worth it too. And I think that's just a really cool, natural way to see the growth of just who I am and who I'm becoming.
Yeah, I was going to ask about comparing The Girl in the Mirror and Beautiful Things, because there is a through line there. And in the first one, you're in Girl in the Mirror, you're giving yourself advice, and obviously that translates to an audience of millions. But with Beautiful Things, it's a little bit more of a pep talk from you to people in the audience, it feels like. Almost like you've already graduated to elder stateswoman a little bit to be able to give out this advice.
Right, exactly. And I think it's just come from experiences and getting to the point where, when you truly know your worth, you don't let someone make you feel like the girl in the mirror. And it took me a long time and a lot of experiences and a lot of being the girl in the mirror so many times to be like, I don't have to be like this. When I know someone's not right for me, I don't have to drag it out for a year and a half and see if they'll change. As soon as I know I deserve better, I can get out. And that's kind of, Beautiful Things kind of was inspired by that feeling, because I'm like, I think it's okay too to realize that sucks that it didn't work out, and it sucks that they're not the person that I want them to be, but to have the confidence to know that you're gonna be okay. There are so many other fish in the sea, so many species. It's gonna be all right, and I think that it's gonna be all right, you're gonna be all right, those are some of my favorite lyrics in Beautiful Things, even though they're so simple. Just to hear someone say that to you, I think I wrote it for my niece, and so I hope that when she gets older and needs the song, I think just having someone tell you it's going to be okay and they're okay, so you trust their advice. I think that it's a really powerful song and message.
Yeah. Let's talk about the song you're going to be doing on the CMAs, which of course has already been a single 6 months later, and it feels like there's some continuity there with some of the fun songs you've done before, where there's kind of a twist on there's a relationship, it's over, but maybe one person or the other hasn't quite gotten over it, and sometimes it's the guy who just can't quit you.
Exactly.
And I feel like you really like those kind of songs where classic country songs in a way where there's that great lyrical hook that kind of catches you and doesn't let you go.
I love a hook. Yeah, that one was so much fun to write, and I think it's just, like I said before, the Girl in the Mirror version of me, even Why Johnny, where I was like, how did you get him to change? I want him to change so badly. The girl that wrote that wouldn't have wrote 6 months later, because even in 6 months later, I can acknowledge how much it hurt. Dramatically, I say, out of 6 feet deep, I was 5. Pretty sure they called a hearse outside. I'm acknowledging that I'm being dramatic, but also acknowledging the pain that was real. And then the chorus goes into, the fun, what doesn't kill you calls you 6 months later. They always come back, so don't even worry about it. And I think just I know that I'm a role model to a lot of young men and women, and so to have that kind of empowering song, I always gravitated towards songs that made me feel like I was going to get through the situation, or that I didn't need the person that was treating me badly. I always love those kind of songs, so now to be able to write them and include them on albums, it's just really fun for me. And I get a lot of messages about my songs and how they help people, so that's probably my favorite part of the job.
Just talk about the award you're going to get at Variety's Hitmakers event, Storyteller of the Year. And I was looking back at some of your interviews, and you use the word storyteller or storytelling a lot. So that's kind of coincidental, but it's certainly an identification you've had for yourself. And what does storytelling mean to you? And that's such an important classic part of country music, but it means different things to different people. And where do you see storytelling coming into your songs?
I think that I gravitated towards country music at a young age because when you really paid attention to the lyrics, it puts you in that exact spot. And so I think the first song that I wrote that really accomplished that for me was Hair Salon. I think when you hear the first verse, it sets you right there in the hair salon. You can see it, even though you have no idea what Bernadette looks like, but you've imagined someone in your head. And then each verse and bridge is not wasted. So the story progresses in each part of the song. And I think that I've just always found that writing interesting, and I've connected to that the most, especially like the more detailed it is, even though you're like, wait, how could someone, maybe if I'm too specific, it's not going to be relatable to anyone, but I think the most specific songs are the most relatable. Even like Miss Universe, I would guess that a lot of the people that love that song have not personally been broken up with for a beauty queen, but because there's so much detail in that song, I think just people that love country music and people that listen to music to feel something, I think the storytelling ones accomplishes that the most.
Yeah. Going back to the CMAs and going back to 6 months later, anything you could tell us about sort of the treatment that you're giving that song on the show this week?
Yeah, I'm so excited. It's gonna be kind of like a mini reflection of the music video. We're kind of recreating that best we can in about 3 minutes in one set, but it's gonna be a lot of fun, maybe some outfit changes. It's very, very pink.
All right. And for people who like the color blue, are they just out of luck at this point?
No, I say even at the MIK tour, it was really amazing to see people show up. Like a lot of people wore blue, but if people's favorite album was green, they showed up in head to toe green. So I just think it's really cool that you can pick your favorite album and dress like that. And I see you in the crowd, you know? I'm like, if it's, you know, the Pink tour and you're in all blue, I'm like, okay, MIK is their favorite album. So I just think that as long as it's pink, blue, and green, you're good. Okay. We don't have to throw away any colors. But obviously right now, my closet is getting a big revamp.
Okay. Well, I went to see you recently when you played one of 2 sold-out shows at the Greek in LA, and I didn't realize the fan base was just totally into the color thing. So I thought, oh, a lot of Dodgers fans here tonight.
I know, right? So. Yeah, I've heard Dodgers, Kentucky, yeah. It was really cool to look out and see a sea of blue, and especially when we were in New York for Radio City, I had gotten a cold, so a doctor came and gave me some medicine, and he was like, so you're the reason everyone on the subway was in white boots and blue everywhere. He was like, I had no idea what was going on, but it was very culty. And I was like, exactly, it's the emo cowgirls and cowboys.
And the audience that's turning out for these shows, I mean, even knowing how popular you are, it was still astonishing to see not just 2 sold-out nights at the Greek, but looking at the resale prices, it was clear the demand exceeded the supply for your tour. And what's it like? And also, you know, not the stereotype that you have mostly female fans, but it's just it is different in some ways when you hear everyone screaming every word, and certainly there's something to identify in those songs with for everyone, but women especially are doing the screaming, and it's just such a fun thing to be a part of that, you know, some of us haven't experienced in some ways since the days of the Dixie Chicks or something.
Yeah.
And there's some women who are cowgirls as their real lifestyle, and some who are just cowgirls for a night because they love you so much.
Yeah, the MIK tour was like some of the most amazing nights of my life. I think it's more of an experience than a concert, you know? I don't think anyone's just sitting, no one's even seated at my shows. They're all standing up, and it's truly an experience, and I feel like we're all living out these emotions together night after night. I mean, like, you'll look over and, you know, bless your heart, they're all screaming. Girl in the Mirror, some people are crying. Break It Right Back, everyone's getting their anger out. Am I Okay is just a party. I'm Not Pretty is just a party. It's like 90 minutes of just an experience that we all have together. And I think, at least on my part, I think my fans would say the same, but I feel really close to them for that reason. Because they see me, you know, I'm less worried about looking really attractive on stage when I'm doing the Break It Right Back bridge, and I'm like straight up like reliving exactly what I wanted to say to the person I wrote it about every single night, and they're screaming it right back at me with the same passion. So I think the tour and just getting to play these songs live, I feel so close to my fans because it just feels like a safe space to go through all of it together. And I feel really lucky that I get to go to the show every night.
And I was just watching people in the audience at your show, and I was like, I had a mother and daughter in front of me, like probably a teenage daughter, and at one point you were singing one of your songs where you're singing about not respecting yourself enough, and I could see the mother kind of go, "Ah," and look over to her daughter, kind of almost like, "Do you feel that way?" Or
Yeah.
They were having like really relating to the theme of the song, having kind of an emotional bonding moment during your song, and that's part of the power of music when you can create discussion or even just a glance that's meaningful
Right.
between people who are both relating to it.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. I've had a lot of moms and dads even that come up and they're like, your music is why we talk all the time, and it's one thing that we're on the same page about. And I think that's really special. My dad and I connected through music, and we wouldn't have the relationship we have without it. So I think that just to have songs that say something, and maybe even Mama, I Lied. So many moms and daughters, I look out, they're hugging each other and crying together because the moms understand how hurt their daughter was, and their daughter can say, yes, Mom, I lied to you, but I just like loved him so much. And now we're on the other side of it together. But it was like, it's just a really honest, a lot of these songs are so honest that it makes it really easy to talk to someone if it's something that you can relate to. Because instead of having to say, this is what happened, they can say, I really relate to this song. And the moms are like, okay, gotcha,
Yeah, exactly. I saw that in action.
Yeah.
Finally, I'll just go back to the CMAs. I'm sure you're focused on what you've got to do in it, but is there anything you
And
know?
the outfits.
What?
And the outfits.
And the outfit.
Yeah.
Anything you know that's happening at the CMAs, apart from your own participation, that you're excited about or that you know about?
I convinced Kenny to sit with me during the awards show and walk the red carpet with me. So I'm so excited. I figured, this might be the only time we're nominated together, and he's just become such a great friend and mentor to me that he was down to do it. And I thought that was really sweet of him because it's been a while since he's like walked a red carpet or attended an awards show. But I'm just so excited for that. He's, even this year and last year, anytime I've needed anything or needed advice, he's there for me. And it's a really special friendship. So even just getting to spend the night with him, and we're going to be joking all night and just goofing off. So it's going to be really fun.
Oh, cool. I was just looking at his new book, his memoir, and he talks about you quite a bit in there.
Yeah, I got 3 picture spots. I was like, hey, this is my favorite page. Yeah, he sent my friends and my family like personally signed books. He's just so thoughtful and exactly what you would think he is. And I feel lucky to have him as a mentor and a friend in my life.
Well, thank you so much, Megan.
Thanks.